wanted to leave a little bit of time to say something about Folk Alliance because it's very, very important to me. And I came here to Nashville almost 10 years ago, about 9.5 years ago, and Folk Alliance has been just a sweet spot in the middle of a storm for me, because when you come out to Nashville, you think you're going to set the world on fire, and it doesn't necessarily happen, and it's not necessarily supposed to happen like that, because there's reasons for things. Thank NERFA for having me as a showcase artist at the conference this year, and I also want to thank Lewis and Folk Alliance for the opportunities they've given me to share music, life, and stories with so many wonderful, wonderful people, and I see a lot of them in the room. I want to acknowledge one of those wonderful people who is responsible almost totally for me being involved in Folk Alliance, and especially for me being involved to the extent I am, and her name is Cindy Cogbill, and she is with us here in spirit, and I want to acknowledge her with my gratitude and thanks, and I thank all of our love, those of you that know Cindy, and everybody knows Cindy. Folk Alliance is at its heart and its best a community. The word alliance perfectly embodies that aspect of coming together for a common purpose and benefit, more so than any association or organization that we could have formed. That word alliance, there's plenty of associations and organizations and conglomerations and corporations in the world, and they're not necessarily bad, but the Folk Alliance is a community, and community is more. And we're a community committed to sharing music and arts, and music and arts to me are the language and communication of a higher purpose, committed to ideas and values that are emphasized in different ways over different generations, but those ideas are in themselves timeless and ageless and undying. And if you needed evidence of that, if you sat in here in this room listening to the wisdom of the elders, it was such a beautiful thing to hear, and to hear the history of the folk movement and what it stands for, and bringing all different cultures together. And I'm very fortunate. I'm 33 years old right now, and I have both sets of my grandparents still alive. So that's a special place in my heart, the wisdom of the elders. The place where I grew up, Dunn, North Carolina, my mom is from a little town called Benson, North Carolina, and they used to have what they call the Benson Sing. And they may still have it, but it would be, these old hymns and these songs that came out of largely Baptist tradition were sung and shared with everybody, and in the town square. And I think that is at its heart of Folk Alliance. And unfortunately, some of the South, some of that tradition has moved away. We've gotten away from it, and I love those old songs. And so I want to ask you to sing this song with me. I actually learned it off a Patty Griffin record that came out a couple years ago called Downtown Church. And but I did a 2-minute Google search on it today, and I haven't gotten the time to see if this is true or not, but it's on the internet, so it must be. But talk about spooky, before I decided to play this song, after I searched it, and it says, this is the first country gospel song written in 1914, and it sold over 277,000 copies, when at that time 5,000 copies was considered a hit. So sing along with me. I've heard the land on a faraway strand. 'Tis a beautiful home of the soul, built by Jesus on high, where we never shall die. Is a land where we'll never grow old. Sing along, please. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never in that beautiful home where we'll never more roam. We will be in the sweet by and by. Happy praise to the King, through eternity sing, in a land where we never shall die. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. When our work here is done, and the life crown is won, and our troubles and trials are over, all our sorrow will end, and our voices will blend with the loved ones who've gone on before. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. Let's lift all our voices now. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never grow old. In a land where we'll never grow old.